Hello there, Filsinger Games fans, and welcome to a little unboxing slash update video. This is going to be a two-part video. I just got a package in from Filsinger Games. This is 2 copies of the new printing of the Legends Color Starter Set. Apparently the initial printing was sold out. This is the new printing. And apparently there have been some tweaks made to some of the cards. So the first part of this video is going to be the unboxing. Then I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to compare the cards with the old cards and try and see if I can spot the differences. But the first thing we have to do is we have to open the package. So let's get that going right now. All right, so here is the Legends Starter Set coming in this new. I think this. Oh, I must have bought the whole version with charts and everything else. So I'll keep one mint. But this is what you get if you order the new Legends Color Starter Set or the Legends Color Starter Set from Filsinger Games. You'll get one of these envelopes. And there you go. You got dice right there. You got your game instructions with charts right there. Always can use some more dice. You got the handbook right here. And then the playing cards. And of course, this set comes with Luthez, Buddy Rogers, Gorgeous George, and Cherie Dupree, Bobo Brazil, Harley Race, Hawk and Animal, the Road Warriors, the Iron Sheik, Nikolai Volkov, Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Now, this is supposedly where one of the changes to the back of the card is. So I'm actually going to set this one aside because there's some wording difference on the back. We've got Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. We've got Hacksaw Jim Duggan. We've got Bruiser Brody. We've got Rob Van Dam. We've got Randy Macho Man Savage. And Kurt Hennig, a.k.a. Mr. Perfect. So there you go. There is the new Legends Starter Set, the second printing. It's not necessarily new. It's a second printing of the Legends Starter Set. If you own the first printing, then you own the first printing. There you go. I never noticed before how these cards do kind of fit together. I mean, I knew that the art did, but I mean the background of these cards fits together. So there you go. This is the first printing. Now I'm going to take a quick break, and I am going to compare some cards, compare and contrast, and I'll be back. It won't be any time for you, but I'll be back with a rundown of the differences that I found. Okay, be right back. All right. As we go through these, just so you know, the first series Legends Color Starter Set will be in these plastic sleeves. So that's kind of how you can tell them apart. The ones out of the plastic sleeves are the ones we just opened. There were changes to the back of every card, and I'm going to go through what I found. There are really only 2 changes to how the cards themselves will play. Most of these changes, the changes to the back of all the cards are, as you will see, just simply cosmetic and business related. And then there's some wording differences, but there are 2 cards at least that I found. There could be others. I went through these kind of quickly, so it is possible that I missed something. But there are 2 things that kind of change the way cards play. But if we we take a look at the back of these, again, this is the first printing one. This is the second printing one. The major thing on the back of all cards is, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but the printing is a little bit darker, and it's almost like it's a little bit easier to read. It's a little bit crisper. This printing on the original set seems just a little bit softer than this printing. So, that's great. The other thing is, if we look down here at the copyright information, you will see that the first printing says copyright 2016 Filsinger Games, and the new printing says copyright 2016, 2021 Filsinger Games. So that the kind of the darkening of the lettering on the back of the cards, at least where the moves are concerned, and the copyright date, those are different on every single card. So I'm not going to show you all those cards because it's all just pretty much the same as this. But let's get into what the differences were in the cards. First, and as I said, a lot of these are just wording, and like they kind of cleaned up the verbiage a little bit, and then the rest are there's two of them that, at least that I've seen, that affect the way a card plays. So we've got Rob Van Dam, and the big thing here on Rob Van Dam is just and it's really just super simple, is the wording. The original wording says, if an opponent has accumulated 3 or more fatigue tokens and choose the number 3, Van Dam can choose to hit the Van Terminator +4 disqualification 7. This can only occur once per match. But here on the new card it says, if an opponent has accumulated 3 or more fatigue tokens, Van Dam, and they use the word 3, not the number 3, Van Dam can choose to hit the Van Terminator +4 disqualification 6. This can only occur once per match. So I guess that kind of does change how the card is played, because he went from a disqualification 7 to a disqualification 6 there. But it's not a ginormous change. And as you can see, just the printing on the back of this card is a little bit easier to read than on this card. But that is the only real difference that I can see on Rob Van Dam. Moving on to Randy Macho Man Savage. Again, he just has the wording at the bottom of his card cleaned up a little bit. The original one said, once per match, Savage can choose to do this to the opponent on the floor. Add 1 to opponent's pin rating. Opponent rolls on level 3 defense. And now, instead, there's the asterisk for flying axe handle. And down here it says, roll 1 die. On a roll of 1, Savage hits flying axe handle to the floor. 3, add 1. So that kind of changes the way it's played, just in that this one, Savage could choose to do it once per match. And here, according to the ruling, to the wording on the back of this card, it's not once per match. It's just on a roll of 1. So Savage can roll a bunch of 1s and add a bunch of add 1s. So that again changes a little bit how the card is played right there as well. The next one we have is Harley Race. And again, it has to do with the mechanic at the bottom of the card. The original one said, if you decide to attempt a death jump, roll 2 dice. On rolls of 2 through 9, refer to the results on the death jump chart. On rolls of 10 through 12, Harley Race hits diving headbutt +1. And on the new card, it says, if Race decides to do the death jump, so they change it from you to Race, roll 2 dice. On rolls of 2 through 9, so that remains the same, refer to the results on the death jump chart. On rolls of 10 through 12, Race hits a diving headbutt +1. So no real changes there other than wording and how it is worded, going from you to Race, and then it says Harley Race hits a driving headbutt, and then it's up here it says he hits the diving headbutt. So that is the change there. The next one here is Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Now you'll notice right away the wording here is much more than the wording here. So again, this relates to if Duggan getting disqualified. On the original card, it says, if Duggan is disqualified, roll 2 dice. 2 through 5, Duggan swings the 2x4, chasing his opponent out of the ring. 6 to 9, Duggan hits the opponent with the 2x4, lets loose a hearty ho and thumbs up to the crowd. 10 to 12, Duggan smashes the opponent with a 2x4, injuring him. Roll 1 die for length of injury. So now it says, again, it's an asterisk for disqualification. If Duggan is disqualified, roll 2 dice and check the game booklet to see if Duggan uses his trusty 2x4 on the opponent. So if we look into the game booklet, let me find Hacksaw Jim Duggan in here. There he is. So this is kind of this same chart. It's just they've moved the chart to the handbook. If Duggan is disqualified, roll 2 dice, 2 to 5. Duggan chases his opponent out of the ring with a 2x4, 6 to 9. Duggan hits his opponent with a 2x4, let loose a big ho and thumbs up to the crowd. 10 through 12, Duggan smashes his opponent with a 2x4, injuring him. Roll 1 die for length of injury. So it's pretty much the same chart that is back on the back of the original one. I wanted to look. I did not realize that the handbook would be changed as well. Yeah, so I didn't go through the handbook, so there might be more changes in here because obviously I don't think this chart for Hacksaw Jim Duggan was on the original card, not in the handbook. So there you go. That's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Now we get into the two things where things have changed. And the first is here on Jimmy Snuka, the original wording at the bottom of the card. And this is, again, this is just his wording at the bottom of the card. Says roll 2 dice. So this is if he hits the Superfly Leap. On rolls of 11 to 12, Snuka misses the move. Opponent rolls on level 3 offenses. In cage matches, Snuka attempts this move from the top rope. It becomes a +4 and misses on rolls of 10 through 12. So this is still this mechanic here where you roll 2 dice is to see if he misses or not. And it's 11 to 12. He will miss for just the regular Superfly Leap. And then if it's in a cage match, this move becomes a +4 and it misses on rolls of 10 through 12. The wording on the new card just keeps it to in cage matches. Snuka may attempt this move from the top of the cage. If you wish to do so, roll 2 dice. On rolls of 10 through 12, Snuka misses the move. Opponent rolls on level 3 offense. If successful, it becomes Superfly Leap +4. So now this Superfly Leap doesn't miss. Which is an interesting mechanic change. Because before you did have that chance where if it was an 11 or 12, it might miss. But now it will hit, and it's only in cage matches where you'll roll that miss. So that is an interesting update to that card. And finally, this one is going to be the interesting reaction to see what people say about this. But good old Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, his change comes to his turnbuckle rating. The original card had a turnbuckle B, and the new card has a turnbuckle C. So he is not as good in the turnbuckle as the original card one. Again, it will be really interesting to see how what game fans say about this, because I know people get very, very picky as to the turnbuckle ratings, and it's a topic of great discussion. So really, these are the changes that I have found in the differences between the new printing and the other printing. I'm going to pause the video for a second, and I'm going to check out the handbook and see if there are any other little differences in the handbook, and I will be right back. All right, we're back. I just took a quick look through the handbooks. Again, it is possible that I missed things because this was a quick look. On the back, you can see that the copyright date, just like on the cards, the 2001 copyright date is now on the updated version. And there are very minor differences in here. What the first thing I noticed is that for the finisher hold names, the names are capitalized now. Although Kurt Henning's his is not capitalized for Henningplex, but everywhere else it looks like they capitalized the finisher move names. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's chart is in here, which we already talked about. I didn't see. There's little formatting issues, and I'm sure that's just because they added Duggan's chart. So there's just little layout differences, and sometimes things continue across pages differently than they do in the other book. The other thing that I noticed when I was looking through here, I looked to see about Jimmy Snuka's finisher, because as we talked about, Jimmy Snuka's this new thing on the back of his card says, in cage matches, Snuka may attempt this move. And here it says the Superfly Leap, while not always successful, when it lands, the results are spectacular. In steel cage matches, Snuka may attempt this move from the top of the cage. So that it may just be a mistake where they didn't change the wording in the handbook, and this refers back to that old card. Because this new card, it really it just says in cage matches. So anyway, those are the differences that I could see. There may be others. If you spot other differences, drop them in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to comment. I am going to be switching out some of my cards for these newer versions of the cards in my personal fed for sure. But let me know what you think. Thank you so much. Subscribe, like. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.